If I was Israel and Israel was to fight me,
He should just keep his mouth shut and let me sell the fight.
I would fear me.
Israel, you're skinny, bro. Hey, you better lift some weights, man. You're skinny as hell. I'm not worried about you. I'm an All-American wrestler.
I might be the ugliest,
I'm gonna
but I'll
dunk you
whoop
on
your
your head for
day.
means nothing. Hey, you built like a senior citizen. I'm not worried about you, boy. You're skinny. It's over for you, bro. A glory reject. You went 0-2.
Bring that chin on the platter, and I'll clean it off as well.
Bro, why you trying to talk like Connor? You from Nigeria.
Yeah, well, my man, why y'all let me look do it?
Shut up,
Y'all
boy.
ain't.
It's over for
What
you.
team?
I wouldn't even call him that. I like female dogs. They're my favorite. I call him, he's lower than scum. I'll just put it that way. Yeah. I mean, like, I saw him at the hotel 30 minutes before we went on stage for the press conference. He didn't have that same energy.
What's up? Well, for me, I'm about to get paid 50 G's for the knockout win. Face down, ass up. Another one. Another one. Shut the up, you little dirty.
Say it again. Let me hear it. Look at my easy money sitting over there.
You know, he's just real fake, trying to, there's different ways to sell a fight, I get it, but just the way he goes about it, I'm like, yeah, keep doing this. I'm gonna do this.
Out of all the opponents Israel has faced, none were as hostile as Derek Brunson. Brunson, a veteran of the UFC who's been fighting in the promotion since 2012, was robbed the wrong way when the new brash up-and-coming Adesanya entered the UFC. And it was very clear that these two fighters weren't the best of friends. So when the night of the fight came to settle it all, Derek Brunson was met with more than he could handle. Adesanya was able to make Brunson desperate by stuffing all of his takedowns, as he is a predominant wrestler. Brunson, having none of his takedowns land, started to fight wild and ended up getting caught with a huge counter knee as he shot in for a takedown. And with that knee, the end was very near. Adesanya put the pressure on Brunson and picked him apart, finally landing the knockout blow in the first round, stopping Derek Brunson in the process. Brunson was seen as the first test of Adesanya's UFC career. Critics felt that the UFC was really avoiding giving Adesanya any wrestlers. So when Adesanya dismantled Brunson, he had proven them all wrong. And now with this win, Adesanya would enter the top 5 of the middleweight rankings.
Sometimes I get in the way of my own self. Like, I know by far I'm a better grappler than him. So going into the fight, going to my previous fight, I'm like, okay, I made mistakes. I just got too greedy with the hands. You know, I'm just head hunting, trying to knock people out. So I said, in this fight, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna wrestle. And I'm just shooting without any setups of the hands. And I shoot in one time and he catches me with a knee. And it just, that's what set everything off. You know, I was a little dazed, and then he gets up and I'm like, come on, let's fight, you know, like, but it's a certain point in the fight, you know, if you get a little dazed, probably back off a little bit.
After his fight with Adesanya, Brunson didn't let the loss get to him. Since the fight, he has been able to rack up 2 wins and seems to be in good spirits.
I'm gonna beat him up till the point he can't take it no more. He got old sloppy, and then we'll see what happens. Like, you know, he has so many holes, I think, in the ground game. But again, he's very good at something, even in the striking game. But it's not like honestly, he wasn't even. He's good, but it wasn't like a top fighter in K1 either. Honestly, he's dangerous, but it's nothing like, oh man, you can't stand with this guy. He's gonna throw like energetic something that is gonna knock you out from like 10 meters away.
Italy's youngest UFC fighter, Marvin Vettori, was not too impressed with Adesanya. Both Adesanya and him were prospects in the making, but only one could progress in the division. Marvin thought he could expose the holes in Adesanya's game and prove that Adesanya was not as good as people made him out to be. But come fight night, the performance Adesanya displayed was clinical, methodically evading Marvin's offense with slick defense and making Marvin pay for the mistakes he made with crashing counters. The fight ended up being a split decision, as one of the judges gave the fight to Vettori somehow, a frustration Adesanya wasn't too shy to share in the post-fight press conference.
What kind of judge gave that fight to him? What?
After losing to Adesanya by split decision, unlike Brunson, Marvin did not take the loss too well. He felt like he got robbed in the fight and still holds a grudge against Adesanya.
You know, people get really influenced by the hype, and I don't. And I mean, I gotta give him. He put on a lot of great fights. He showed up every time. He was very active in the last year, but I have his number. You know, like I feel like the next time that I'll face him will be different.
What did you think about him saying that he was essentially going to slap you if he saw you again?
He had 15 minutes to do what? To try and slap me. He couldn't do it to me. Even when people are like, oh, I think you lost that fight. I love his acting. He deserves an Oscar for that. After you know, when I got announced the winner, the way he was like, and just stormed out the cage, his acting. Oh.
Since losing to Adesanya, Marvin scored 2 back-to-back victories. However though, these were not against top opposition. Marvin is still a young fighter. With more development, he can one day be considered one of the best middleweights out there if he continues on to improve.
Either one, he's extremely delusional, which that could be it. Or 2, he's just one of those guys that needs to like tell himself over and over and over, like look at himself in the mirror and say, hey, you're the man. I'm the greatest. I can beat this guy. No matter what he does to prepare himself, no matter what he does to tell himself, come July 6th, he's gonna have to be in that cage with me, and all that talking and all his mental preparation or lack thereof is not gonna help him one way or another. So yeah, you're right. I do find it amusing. Every time somebody tells me, oh, this is what Israel said, I literally, like, it just makes me laugh.
Brad Tavares, who made his UFC debut back in 2010, has been in the organization for a long while. So when the kickboxing phenom Israel Adesanya came knocking at his door, he gladly welcomed the challenge. Unfortunately though, he fell short against the rangy and evasive Adesanya, losing a very one-sided decision which would award Adesanya the Performance of the Night bonus. Tavares would return to the octagon in November 2019, meaning he was out of the octagon for a year and a half since losing to Adesanya. His return fight was not as successful as Brunson and Vettori's. This time, Tavares would be at the end of a brutal head kick knockout of rising contender Edmen Shahbazyan. I believe it is safe to say that the best days of Brad Tavares' career are already mostly behind him. However though, that is for Brad Tavares to decide. So let us see in the near future if Brad Tavares can prove everybody wrong and rise back to the occasion and defeat the best of the middleweights division.
Whole time, I think he's great, but he doesn't like getting hit. He doesn't look great going backwards, and I just don't think he's as good as he thinks he is.
Robert Whittaker defeating Yoel Romero twice to win and defend the vacant middleweight title was the fan favorite going up against Israel Adesanya. Whittaker was labeled the champion who would defeat the brash and fast rising star and prove that he was not what he made himself out to be. Whittaker himself did not think much of his opponent Adesanya, saying that he wasn't that special. At the fight, we saw Robert Whittaker come out of the gate fast and try to catch Adesanya with his lead left hook. Adesanya had gotten the timing down of Robert Whittaker after about 4 minutes, and at the end of the first round, he was able to knock him down hard and could have finished the fight if it wasn't for the bell saving Robert Whittaker. The following round was just the beginning of the end, as Adesanya was able to get Whittaker once again with the same counter, as he had completely figured Whittaker out. And with this, he was able to finish Robert in the second round, unifying the interim and undisputed UFC titles. After losing the fight, Whittaker was as gracious as ever, taking nothing away from Adesanya's victory and not letting the loss get to his heart.
No, hats off to Adesanya, a great striker. I thought I was doing pretty well until you get caught. But hell, you know, I'm only 28. I'll see him in a fight or two, yeah? Thanks for everybody that came out today. Thanks to my family, thanks to my coaches. Everybody did great getting me here. Honestly, this is the best I've ever felt. Didn't get the W today, but I'm not going anywhere.
We'll be having, without a doubt, many more impressive victories we can add to this video. But in the end, only time will tell what will truly happen. Until then, these were opponents, before and after fighting Israel Adesanya. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. As always, I have been Keenan from Keenan KTV, signing off. Later.